Welcome back, everybody, to the Morning Update Show. I'm your co-host, Trey Holly, and joining me right now on set is Damico Parker Jr. and Bookie Gates from Baseball Beyond Borders. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I got to start off because, young king in the building here. And Bookie said, look, I've been on a lot of times, but we got to get one of our star players to come on here and tell their experience. So I know you guys did a lot this season, right? Just want to hear from you how this experience with Baseball Beyond Borders has affected you personally, Damico.
It's affected me very greatly and bigly and in a positive way because just me being able to reach out to my friends from school and maybe even my cousins, just like family and friends from school, and try to bring them on my team. It's like great chemistry, and I get to know them better, and it's just fun when I get to learn more and have fun while I'm doing it.
Well, one of the great things I think about organized youth athletics is, you really learn how to work in a team. Mm-hmm. And, Bookie, you've been a player yourself when you were younger, growing up, and so many different baseball influences helped you get to where you are today. But how is it for you to now be pouring that into these young people?
I think culture speaks volumes, right? And I think what we've been able to do is create a culture that embraces young folks where they're at. And I think it also brought Black baseball into the picture, right? And I think oftentimes we look at, and you hear and I talk about baseball in Black community. It's the only sport we've ever owned. Well, it's also a sport that we created and generated a lot of the swag that you see today. And so that's what we want to incorporate. And that's something that we continue to embellish and push as we grow this game of baseball within Black communities.
Well, I'm just thankful that you guys are here today to give us an update. We know you guys did some travel, went all the way to Florida. I think we have a photo montage here of you guys going all over the place and doing what you do best. Let's get the people to understand what you guys are doing here.
So this came full circle for us. As O mentioned earlier in the show, that it was 25 years since a team from Seattle, a baseball team from Seattle, went to the RBI World Series. That was actually 1996. In 1996, that was when I actually attended the RBI World Series. And that was the first year that RBI existed. But the biggest piece about this experience was that first game we played across the field was a former student athlete from Baseball Beyond Borders, and Nelson Cooper, who is currently running the Pittsburgh RBI program. So obviously we're doing something right. We're not creating players that are playing in Major League Baseball. Yes, that's the end goal, but we're creating individuals who are now giving back into communities where it's needed most.
Wow, that to me is really everything. I mean, when we think about the Negro Leagues, there's such a rich history there around how baseball was so embraced in the Black culture. And Damico, as a young person, how much of that history of what baseball has meant to Black people in particular, how much of that is inspiring to you to continue those legacies yourself?
It inspires me a lot because it keeps me going, and to see the teams that we played against, especially Atlanta. It's an all-Black team. The coaches, it's great energy. It just like gave me another mindset just to keep going. And if I have kids, I want to know that do whatever you want, but if you play baseball, do it with passion. Make sure you have fun, and just like don't be afraid. Don't get down on yourself if you keep failing, because baseball is a game of failure. And you can have a lot of fails until you get a dub.
Yeah, there we go. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's about the endurance of the game. Yeah. And Bookie, for those that may not understand maybe the depth of RBI, how many teams end up coming to out there to Florida and challenging each other in this RBI championship?
So there's three different divisions in RBI baseball. There's a softball division, there's junior baseball, which is 13 to 15 years of age, and then there's senior baseball, 16 to 18. So this year they actually eliminated the international play. So we didn't get the opportunity to see the Venezuelans or the Dominicans and teams of that nature because of the pandemic. So there was only 6 teams in each division that actually participated from across 6 different regions. So you had the Midwest, the Central, the Southwest, the Southeast, and the Mid-Atlantic. As well as the Northeast, I apologize. So Roberto Clemente from Jersey City, you got the chance to see Pittsburgh, to Cincinnati, to Indiana, to Atlanta, to New Orleans. And then obviously Seattle was represented. And so that, and Miami, Florida was there as well. But you talk about the experiences of the cultures and the various aspects of the game and what you see, it spoke volumes. And I think for these guys, man, it was just, travel was an experience for them. And to be able to kind of be, and RBI isn't just about going playing baseball, right? You're having meals with these players and you're interacting in between games. And believe me, you're in Florida in August Pre-hurricane season,
Yeah.
we had many rainouts. I'm talking about torrential downpours that had to delay games, but that gave us time to bond. And so they build relationships and friendships with folks from across the country that they continue to stay in contact with to this day.
Well, that's one of the things about that's always great about technology, Damico. And I know you know this. I saw you on your phone before we came on. How has it been for you to make some connections with folks that are outside of the Pacific Northwest and bond with folks around baseball, something that you all love?
Yeah, it's been fun and it's been a good experience, and I'm learning a lot because somebody across the world or somebody in another state could be practicing something different that could help me in my game, or I could be teaching them or giving them some advice how I got better at hitting, throwing, whatever I do. And it's just, I'm expanding my circle of friends and see who's really going to stick with me all the way.
That's something that I, as a mother of two young sons, I'm experiencing with my 15-year-old who's been playing AAU basketball since second grade and growing with the team. And they've done these kind of travels and been in Florida too with these, been in Vegas with the big tournaments. And so I understand how important athletics can be for a young person. And, I want to ask you guys, it came down to what? Tell us your experience while you were out there. I'll throw this out to both of you. You guys, obviously, you said 6 teams from different regions. How many games did y'all play, and how did it play out for y'all?
We played a total of 5 games. So there was like a round robin. Then we went right into the single elimination quarterfinal, semifinal matchup. And we lost that quarterfinal matchup by a walk-off. So obviously we battled, fought to the end, but it came down to one play, a half an inch that could have been caught, and that would have sent us into extra innings, but we ended up losing it to Jersey City, who eventually went to the championship game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damico, how was that for you? Because being so close, but also you probably just learned so much in all of that energy and action you guys were pouring out there on the field.
Yeah, I was in center field because it was hit to right field, right? Yeah, I was in center field, and I was just praying because I knew when it was hit, I was like, I was praying they was going to catch it, get there. Even though they didn't get there, I was still happy how far we went because I don't know if he said it, but the first game we was down at least like four runs, and we came back, and it was that energy and that excitement to just be there and play, and that got us our first win. So I'm just glad that we got all the way there. It just shows that we had that drive and we didn't lose it and we had fun.
Yeah. That's really what, at the end of the day, and I'm always telling my son, man, make sure you're having fun out there. Wins or losses, that's so important. Athletics is naturally competitive, but again, when you're taking away the lessons you're learning, the relationships you're building, being able to be inspiring to these young people, for them to be able to see themselves in you as a Black man out there too. I think there's so much that you can tie to how it is inspiring to continue on, as you get older. Yeah. What are some of the things that you're excited for in terms of, what's coming up next for Baseball Beyond Borders and for you, Damico?
I'm excited for us to win it next year because, pretty much everybody's mad on the team that we couldn't take it all the way, but I'm excited for that. I'm just excited to see the next players, the next generation, the younger kids, and see, just watch us play and see how they grow, because I know some of the younger players, and I'm excited to see the skill advance and get better, and hopefully play against them in the big leagues or play with them.
Absolutely. And Bookie, what's up next? Because now I'm assuming like the season's over, but a lot of the times, these young folks are training as much as they possibly can. So what really is for you the kind of some of the next steps in terms of facilitating them being able to be out there on the field?
Just continue to embrace them, right? And encourage them to train and continue to work out, giving them a platform, working with the younger group of 10, 11, 12-year-olds to kind of allow them to be visible to that presence, but also supporting them in their other endeavors. Right. Many of them are going to go play football now and basketball. And so we as coaches, we as the mentors and community, we want to show up and be present in all aspects of their lives, not just solely because of what we want on the baseball field. So we're going to continue to encourage that, continue to get them exposed to historically Black colleges and other institutions across the U.S. to see what that life beyond 12th grade can look like for them, because they're close to it. A lot of these guys are going into the 11th to 12th grade next year. So obviously, what is life going to be like for them in the near future, and giving them that exposure. And shout out to Kyle Lewis, to J.P. Crawford, to Shed Long, to Justin Dunn. Those brothers, man, they supported these guys, right? There's big league players who were texting us, sending us messages, congratulatory, getting on Facebook, getting on Twitter, just to encourage these guys and the efforts that they're putting forth. That says a lot. So now they're going to give back to the younger generation. And that's how you carry it forward.
You know what, the cycle of it all is what I really appreciate. And I loved your first answer around the culture, right? And really understanding how instrumental Black folks were to the culture of baseball. I recently had the opportunity to have a really good conversation with Joe Staten.
Yes.
And he was talking about how you were with him doing baseball and how he was just so proud of what you're doing with BBB. And I think about that cycle, right, of energy. You have heavy roots in this, Bookie.
I do.
Yeah. I mean, I knew you at Garfield, but I didn't realize how much it continued for you after you left high school, and then the things that now obviously you're doing. So I just got to ask you, when you think about some of the mentors that poured into you, you know, how integral was that in you saying that this is really what I need to be doing and showing up for these young people now?
It was so influential. And I think even back to Joe Staten, Joe started RBI in the Seattle chapter, right, with his good friend John Young, who started the national RBI brand. And that was in 1996. At that point, that was a time in which I had this pain point, right, because I was stripped away from my community because we didn't have baseball in Seattle at that point in time, right? It was thriving in the 80s, late 80s, but then the early 90s, it kind of started to fade. And that's when Joe came to the scene and he brought back baseball. And so that pain fueled the passion that we have that now launched us into the purpose, right? So it's this concept of pain, passion, and purpose. And we want to continue to build upon that. That really just shows that baseball is live and well in Black communities. And it's going to continue, particularly in the Northwest, right? It's thriving in other parts of this U.S., but in Seattle, in this Northwest region, baseball is here for the Black community.
I gotta say too, before I let you guys go, that had to be something that you really experienced out there, Damico, you know, seeing it in the eyes of other teammates, right? All over the country. And like you said, now you're able to build relationships with folks, but you also just saw folks that love it as much as you do. And that had to be inspiring for you.
It was inspiring. And when JP Crawford, I think it was JP Crawford, when he sent that video, it was inspiring to me and some of my other players that saw the video, because basically he told us just to keep going, try to take it all the way if you can. If you can't, just keep playing with fun. And that pushed me to also push my teammates, because a lot of times we might have struck out and got down on ourselves. I was like, you can't do that. You got to stay positive, keep going, get them at the next at bat or go on defense and make a great play. It was just so fun. I met new friends, inspirational, just different mindset.
Beautiful thing, man. I'm so glad that you guys were able to come on today and give us an update. It was so important to us to continue in this story. You know, we've been loving all of the energy that Bookie's been bringing in. Definitely loving the energy you're bringing today, Damico. So thank you so much for joining us. If folks want to get in touch with Baseball Beyond Borders, follow you guys' mission and vision, how do they connect with you all?
So you can follow us on all social media platforms at BBB Inner City, or you can visit us on our website, baseballbeyond.org. And just reach out. The community knows about us, right? Tell a friend to tell a friend. You can ask somebody and they'll tell you about us.
Amazing. Yes, because you guys are plugged in. Well, thank you guys so much, both of you. Thank you. Appreciate you being here today.
Thanks, Trey.
Absolutely.